The Manhood Tree podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree Podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree Podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. The Manhood Tree Podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, send us a message. Manhood Tree Podcast is an extension of all the Manhood Tree initiatives. It's like an opportunity for us to talk freely about the things that we might discuss in group, that we might learn at the men's health events, that we might talk about in our fatherhood monologues, or even brotherhood yoga. It's a free form interview conversation with men in our community that we discuss manhood stuff. We try to keep it lighthearted, but also very serious because the topics that we're talking about are important. And I think that we are trying to create a platform for men to have serious discussions, good discussions about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. So join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Facebook. And if you'd like to be on the show, Send us a message. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, gentlemen and ladies, because this is the Manhood Tree Podcast. So, this is the Manhood Tree Podcast. My name is Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad. Tonight, first, let me let this gentleman across from me introduce himself.
Oh, yes, there we go. So make sure the audio's playing. My name is Alonzo Lee Beckett.
Tonight we only have one guest, but I think this is a powerful guest, a guest that can hold his own on the microphone. And so, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, it's Duncan Harris, and Duncan Harris, glad to be here.
Yes.
Chop it up.
Welcome.
Thank you for the horns.
So tonight, what we're gonna do, we had a topic. I thought it was a good topic. However, since our other guest didn't show up, I think we can kind of like have an open discussion.
Okay.
I think but before we go into like off-topic stuff, you've been retired now for what has it been? 5 months, 6 months?
Yeah, it was August 1st, 2025. Yeah, so.
I'd like to talk a little bit about this retirement. How's it been going? What have you been doing with your life? Are you ready to go back to work? I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, it's, I guess some people said you didn't retire, you transitioned. But I did retire from full-time state employment after 30 years, so yeah, so
gotta give them up.
Yeah, give me some of them horns. Oh, yeah, the appropriate sound effect for the retirement sound effect.
Yeah.
And so, so after 30 years of amazing work, shout out to all my friends at Manchester Community College, CT State Manchester, CT State Capital. But yeah, after 30 years, last 7 as the head of CT State Capital. But that's what I had set out to do, was to get to 30 years within the state. The plan that I was in, you could retire at 55 as long as you had the years of service.
Yeah.
And I turned 55 in July and retired August 1st.
No wait time.
No wait time.
Let me get out of here.
That was the master plan. And a lot of people have said, oh, you're too young to retire. But no, I'm not, right? And that was the plan. And so my dad set up the model. He retired at 58. And then my brother Dewey, shout out to Dewey, retired at 59.
Nice.
And so so I wanted to kind of follow their lead. I started talking to Dewey maybe 10 years. So he's 10 years older than me. So he was going through it. He was like, hey, Dunk, do this, do this. He talked to me about the power of compounding interest and, those years that I was bringing lunch to work, people didn't know what I was doing, but I was putting that money in the 403 and 457.
So you had 2 examples in your family to be able to kind of like talk to be able to copy. Give us some tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
You jumped into compound interest, but what are some of the things that somebody right now, if I'm 25, if I'm 35 and I have a job, I work for the state, whatever.
Yeah.
What can I do right now? What should I be doing to allow for me to be able to retire at 55?
Yeah, I'm blessed and fortunate that the state had a really good plan at the time that I started in 1996. It's changed a little bit, but to a lot of those folks out there, there's a lot of great, amazing state jobs, right? They're union jobs. They're protected. You have, guaranteed COLAs. You get insurance for life. I think especially in our community, oftentimes, some of these health incidents can wipe people out. I have a $5 copay, man.
Wow.
So there's a piece to sometimes you give up a little bit of money that you might have thought you would have got in the corporate side or private side, but state employment, you can't beat it with a bat sometimes.
Right.
With regard to medical and then the ability to retire, after service. And so I would encourage a lot of young people. So that was one thing, and then the other thing I'll say is there's my mentor. I was 26. Well, first job was at UConn in higher ed, but my mentor Alfred Carter. I think I told you the story before. I was 26. I had an entry-level job at Manchester Community College, and he actually walked me down to HR, and he said to me, Duncan, I want you to do something for me. He's your older brother, and he told me to set up a 403B account, and said, just put like $25, $50, whatever, a pay period in there. So I'm 26.
Right.
And so now I'm 56, and imagine there may be some actuaries or CPAs listening to your show. You could do the accounting on $1 that I put in that 403 in 1996.
Yes.
And what that means. And so that was from Alfred. So anybody listening to this show, I would encourage you. So even with my kids now, I got 3 kids, 18, 20, and 30, soon to be 31. For their birthday, I'm giving them just a little Fidelity account and put $100 a month in there.
Okay.
And I told them I'm going to give it to them in 10 years. Right.
And then they take it over.
Yeah, they take it over, and that gives them a down payment, or they do whatever they're doing. But $100 a month I can afford.
Yeah.
And then I'll give it to them in 10 years. So one will be 28, one will be 30, and then Josh will be 41. But they'll get whatever it's doing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's been doing over 10. In terms of the interest that the Fortune 500 has been doing. So
Break the number down for them, because I think sometimes you say 10, you're talking about 10%.
10%, at least. I'm saying
At least 10%.
Yeah.
But so when we talk about as money compounds, that 10% becomes real. So like when you got $100,000 in the bank,
Yeah.
because that's a good round number.
Yeah.
That 10% means that every year you make $10,000.
Yeah. And then that now at the end of that year I got 110. Right. So the next year I'm making 11,000.
Right.
Because it's compound.
Yes.
Right. And so imagine, once again, people keep saying, well, how are you not to get in talk about my business, but based off of what Alfred Carter told me
Right.
30 years ago. And the other thing to young people, I'll encourage, it's different than like putting it in a savings account,
Right.
or because you can't touch it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I get these statements, and then, I'm 30. I'm like, damn, this is really adding up. And then I'm 35, and then I'm 40, 50. And then I'm like, oh, snap. Right.
Right.
And so even now I'm 55, and there's some of it I can't touch till I'm 60.
Right.
So which is good, because now, I'm able to do what I need to do, but that's still compounding for another 4 years.
Right.
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 And it's a bigger nut, trust me, than it was when I was 25. And so once again, I mean, just in hindsight,
Yeah.
this is a nugget. Anybody who's listening, and just do a little something. I was talking to one of my frat brothers, and he's trying to get ready to retire. And I said to him, he's got a 403, but I told him to do a 457 also, which is another type of account, right?
Yep.
So the 457, he could do both of them. And I said to him, dude, just put like $50, $100 in there, right?
Right.
Right, and just leave it alone, set it on autopilot, whatever. And so when he's going to retire in like 6 years.
Okay.
But, he's putting decent. He makes good money,
Yeah.
reasonable, right? And so let's say he puts a couple $100 in there a month,
Yeah.
but over a 6-year period. Now, and then at 62, he could just, he could access that.
Right.
So I say all that, and banks are amazing. I do a lot of stuff with banking, but there's also these other, Fidelity, Empower, all these other groups that you could go through, and some of them don't even cost you anything, because they're making money on managing it for you.
Of course.
What do you think the disconnect is for youth then?
I think that unfortunately, it's sometimes you want your money right then and there, right? And it's because, and this is why I'm glad you invited me to talk about this, because I didn't really understand it as much at 26,
Right.
but now at 56, which I'll be this, I'm like, damn.
Right.
Thank you for the cheat code.
Yeah.
30 years ago, because you can't make it up. But that's where, like I said, with my kids, I'm gonna I'm just gonna put a little $100 in my. So instead of me buying you, giving you an Amazon card for your birthday, let me give you a little 200, and I'm gonna drop that in your Empower, your Fidelity account,
Right.
and you could watch it. And then I think so. These are habits that I hope our community begins to embrace, and like I said, like I said, people keep asking me, how you're able to retire at this age, and so that's one of the main things, coupled with the insurance and then the pension.
So
Pension you get from state employment.
So one of the things I want to talk about, I wrote down earlier when you started, what was the position you said you had when you first started in
Yeah, it was very entry level, and so I've always hustled. So I went to Manchester Community College. Well, that's where I was working.
Yeah.
And I had was called the test administrator, so I gave the placement test and
Yeah.
and worked
When
with
people
lots.
first came in to try.
Yep.
And so what I'd like you to talk a little bit about is how do you give me all the jobs? Let's
Okay.
just go. And the reason why I
Yeah.
want you to do this is because I think a lot of people, you said you hustle.
Yeah.
And so like they get a job and they 10 years later they're still
Yeah.
in that job. They're in
Yeah.
that department. And I really want to talk about how do you get
Yeah.
from the test
Got it.
person
To a
to
college
the
president.
to the president. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not common, but it was very intentional and deliberate, right? And so I started. So don't get me wrong. I went to UConn, majored in economics, and I worked for Merrill Lynch 1st. So I thought I wanted to do investments, but then realized I wanted to do something different.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So you went to investments. Was that before or after your friend told you about the little?
It was before.
It was before. So
Yeah, I was
so
working
Did it
in money.
click? That
It did click. I didn't understand. I think that I could get there in higher ed the way that I've gotten there.
Yeah.
Because when I was working at Merrill Lynch, I kind of wanted to, do this, stock trader.
Right, right.
Like, all right, I'm gonna go get this bag, make all this money, make other people rich and myself rich. But then I realized that I wanted to do something else with my time and talents, and which was working with young people, right? And working in education, which is the same thing my dad did, so the family business. But then Alfred Carter's the one who schooled me on what I should
What was
be
his
doing.
background?
He was a dean, but he retired. He was a little older than me when he retired. But just managing your money wisely, having your money work, maximize the how it's working for you. Yeah, you work to earn it, but then what do you do with it, and what you do with it so that money is working while you're working, which is what happened over the last 30 years. So that money was doing its thing. There was a recession in 2008, took a hit then, but
Came back strong.
Came back strong, and so that's part of it. But the other thing that you guys can relate to is, or certainly have an understanding of, is kind of average life expectancy of black men too, right?
Yeah.
And so
can
what,
relate.
68, depending on the index that you're looking at. So what, I'm gonna work till I'm 62, 65, and something could happen, right? Or I get to a certain point and my knees are shot and this is shot, and so the quality of life. So what I guess I'm being a little provocative with people, where I say, all right, well, do you really need to work to 65? If you're 25 and you decide that you want to retire at 55, and don't get me wrong, so I'm not one to brag about paying full price. You know me well. I'm coupon kid.
Right.
I get the scarf from CVS. You know how they give you the tape. You go to CVS, they give you all the coupons. And I go through there, and so in my mind, that's being smart, like not overpaying. In counseling, student development, and higher education. So and then during that time, I was also always had a part time. So I was working at Blockbuster. Probably some of your listeners don't know what Blockbuster was.
Right.
So I used to work at the Blockbuster at the time. I actually had my daughter too, so I was a single dad at the time, and so I would do what I had to do. I had a good support system. Shout out to my wife Garcia and my parents, rest their souls and stuff. So they would support me in that space. But then I did my master's degree. I finished that in 2000, and then that master's degree allowed me to have access to other jobs. Right, so I moved from that lowest level into a counselor, coordinator of advising, and then I went back to school again to get my doctorate. Right, and so while I was doing counseling, working part-time, so I was teaching as an adjunct, right? And then I also used to tutor on things like that. And so that was, money that I could save, right? So I had my main job, and then I had a little part-time. So now I'm able to put more money into that 403 and 457 and pay my bills and stuff.
In between at what point between the bachelor's, the master's, and the doctorate, do you feel like you figured it out? Where you were saying like, okay, I'm actually going to get this doctorate for the purpose of these next 3 moves I'm gonna make. When were you kind of like having those thought processes? It wasn't just I'm getting it because it's gonna be cool. Like if I get a doctorate, that's just because I think it's gonna be cool. I'm not gonna get one. But something happened to make you say like, okay, this is a path. I can get somewhere with this.
Well, there's one of the concepts that applies to life and business, of course, is ROI and return on investment.
Right.
Investment could be money, but it could also be your time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One of the greatest assets you have is time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ROI on that doctorate was that it provided me with entree and access to a college presidency. So typically, in order to be a president, you need to at least have a terminal degree,
Yes.
which would be a doctorate. So I knew that, and I took out loans to get it. So not all debt is good debt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd suggest that depending on especially for your advanced degrees, I don't know how much debt I take out on undergrad, but for graduate degrees, I think it's good debt because you get a different job. So my salary when I moved from counselor to dean
Yep.
was like $30,000 more, right?
Big
And
jump.
big jump. And so in my mind, it was worth it to take out the loan to get the doctorate because I was going to be making $3,000 more a month,
Right.
$2,500 more a month, right? So that's worth it to sacrifice the time and the money because then I get a different type of job,
Yeah.
right? And then so then I moved to dean, associate dean of academic affairs was my first dean, and I was one of the youngest deans. I think in the state I was maybe 34, 35,
Okay.
and that was the other piece. And then so I've been a manager in higher education for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also what allowed me to retire because I was able to make more than I was when I was test administrator.
Of course.
And then I became dean of students for 10 years, and then moved into the CEO of Capital for 7 years. So yeah, those jobs. And then the other stuff that I was doing during that period that kind of allowed me to ratchet up was I was on a number of boards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you and I talked a little bit about this. Like you could learn in the classroom, but you could also learn in these from other organizations.
Yeah.
And from other kinds of things that you're engaged in.
So you're talking about making connections. Like this is mentorship through having a seat at the table.
Somewhat, but
Okay.
also how high performing organizations operate.
Okay.
Right. So I was with at one point I was on the East Hartford Chamber of Commerce, so meeting all these different business leaders.
Yep.
The other time I was on CHR, Community Health Resources, which is shout out to Heather Gates, amazing leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned a lot by being on that board and watching her, how she does her deals and does strategic planning and marketing the organization.
Right.
And then I was on Connecticut Food Share. And then for the last 10 years, I've been on Windsor Federal Bank too.
Nice.
So learning, so like you're not just there doing this, but you're like, oh, gee, I might be able to use that when I'm running the college, or this is how they do a strategic plan, or this is how they market these things, and that causes consumers or clients to.
Now, how do you get on boards? Is boards is something that someone reaches out to you, or is this something you reach
Yeah.
out to other?
Good question. So two sides. Oftentimes I've gotten tapped, like somebody might see me,
Right.
but also like oftentimes boards need help,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if there's, I'm looking at you, the skill set that you have, a lot of organizations would benefit from having somebody with your marketing expertise and production expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you could reach out to a group. Now, it's important for it to be aligned with your values. Like, you don't want to be on, so like the boards that I was on was, something related to business and my background.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now I'm on the Greater Hartford Gives, which is up my alley with,
Yep.
philanthropic support.
Nice.
But you could reach out or you get tapped
Mhm.
to be on a board. But yeah, I learned probably as much on those boards as I did in school, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
So for like overtime.
It's the whole iron sharpens iron thing, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a bunch of people, you're not the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Yeah.
And you stretch too. So sometimes I'd get on the board and be on a committee that I didn't really know a lot about.
Right.
And then, you're reading all the minutes, you're going doing all the training and things like that. So, there've been a few times where I've gotten really good at like audit. So like I've been on the audit committee. That was an area that I wanted to grow, and of course the finance committee. And so that's really cool. And then to your point earlier, you're networking, social capital, you're meeting people. I know
Right.
a lot of people I was on the Wadsworth board. That
Nice.
was a cool one. That was like a stretch. but then I like learned a lot about art and Hartford and the community, and so that was one I was, that I really grew from.
Yeah.
Just because it was like a stretch.
So as you're going up, your time management becomes differently, right? So
Yeah.
at some point you're not able to go work at Blockbuster anymore because you need to go to these board meetings.
Yeah.
You need to be at different type. As you get like, if you're the CEO of Capital, there's meetings that you have to go to
Yeah.
that are like maybe after hours that don't
Sure.
allow you to do all of the little things that that you might want to do. So talk a little bit about that, where
Yeah.
you have this transition in almost like how you move in the world.
Yeah.
Like how it's like, and it's not to say that you're better than anybody else, but it's like your title, when you start getting in certain positions, you have to move a little. You move
Yeah.
a little bit differently. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's
Building your reputation.
yeah. Well, it's hard to get your reputation back,
Yeah.
right? So you still the science in that is to never lose it, right, or don't allow it to be compromised. So you gotta protect your reputation. Means you come to stuff on time. You do your homework in advance. You're not embarrassing yourself or your family and things like that in these spaces, very public spaces. So you're always on, right? So that was key. But there's an element of time, and so the other piece to it is like it's Spider-Man. Remember, it was Venom, right? Right, the black suit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so which was a symbiote. So they had this symbiotic relationship,
Right.
where the Venom relied on him and he relied on him. So they were connected,
Right.
but it was like mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
And so the same thing goes with these boards, where I'm getting something out of it. I'm growing, building, social capital network, but they're getting something from me too, right?
Okay.
With my skill set,
course,
right?
yeah.
And so at some point, oftentimes there come a time where I'm like, all right, I need to go do something else, and like move on from a board
Yeah.
after a while. So I might do 5 or 6 years and then move on, because then I'm able to grow my network, my sphere of influence and things like that. So that was another piece. Like, you don't overstay,
Right.
on these boards, and recognize that they're not doing you a favor. So like I keep looking at you like, yo, if you get on one of these boards, what you bring to the table, and then you're also growing your network and your company.
So
working with 'em.
most boards,
Yeah.
you're doing it for free.
Yeah.
But there's some connections and there's something you can get out of it.
Yeah,
There's people at the table. There's opportunities at
Yeah.
the table that you may not get if you're not in the room.
Yeah.
So just there are boards that you could get paid for.
Yep.
You have a few board positions like that.
Yeah.
However, the majority are nonprofits where they're basically using your talent.
Yeah.
And then they're giving you access to other talented people.
There's
that-
perks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go to
Go to
events and stuff.
yeah.
But it is, like I said, there's an aspect of my personal growth that occurred as a result of service to these boards. So I was helping the organization, but then I was also growing.
Right.
Yeah.
So the last 7 years you were the CEO of Capital.
Yep.
This is the culmination of your career.
Yep. Capstone.
So what was that like when you first got the position? When you got the call? When you
Yeah.
were moving into that position? And then I think you can bask in it a little bit, but how long do you bask before you're like, I got to get to work?
Yeah. No, well, ironically, you guys did the walk and talk. Remember
Yeah,
we did that walk and talk?
I remember that.
Right, and I had literally just started that summer. I think I started, and we did a walk and talk.
Good talk, man.
Right, and that was 2018, and I was excited. I had been a member of the cabinet at Manchester for like 14 years,
Right.
under 2 different presidents, so I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I had done. If you were to look at, what should be on paper for an incoming president and the skill sets that they should have and prerequisite training, I had checked all the boxes
Right.
multiple times in some of the domains,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was ready. Not overconfident or whatever, but just like ready and excited,
Yeah.
and kind of leaned into that opportunity.
What's the interview like?
So it's a really a gauntlet, right? So you have you have to go before the faculty and staff. You go through meet with the chancellor. You have to meet with students, and things like that. And so there's a lot to the interview process. Right now, interestingly, in my retirement life, I'm doing consulting, where I'm working with a search firm that hires college presidents.
Okay.
So right now I'm working on. So it's interesting because and oftentimes they want a former president to do it because the job, and I'll talk to people interested in it, and then I talk to the board and the college. So I'm like the middle person.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that now, which is cool because I had a 7-year stint as a college president.
Right.
So I'm able to kind of I know what the job entails. And it's a tough job. I mean, it's a 7-day-a-week job. You work hard Monday through Friday, but then Saturday you're kind of wrapping up the week and figuring out what and then Sunday you're getting ready to start the week again. So
That's right.
and at any point in time you could open email and there could be something from the Hartford Courant or something that's happened that impacts your college community. So tough job.
Yeah. You did it during COVID too.
Did it during COVID. I had and it was the weight of that was a really stressful time. We had 2,500 students kind of counting on you, faculty and staff, and people were having a hard time. So that job, like I said, I people will say that I did a good job, which means a lot to me. But I was, by the time I was done, I was spent.
Okay, you were ready.
Yeah, I was, but that was part of the plan too. To retire when I did, but that job took a lot out of me, right? And the nature of the job requires sacrifice. So I knew going in,
right?
And shout out to my wife and my children who, that certainly had an impact on them.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't always 100% present at home. Just worn out, man.
Right.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
Tough job.
So you got to the door. You retired. And now it's been 6-7 months.
Yeah.
What does a day in the life look like?
Well,
actually, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of like that. So you sounds like education was your passion, right?
Yeah.
So most people fall in love with their passion, and they just like, for me, for example, my passion is what I do with the video stuff. So I'm going to do that till I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? So like you have a job where your passion had an end, right? Had an end, meaning like you retired. So you don't necessarily have to go to that building anymore.
Yeah.
For your passion. Now the passion is like whatever all the contacts you've made, everything you've made. So now the consulting you just said you do. So what are you doing now to like kind of fill that education passion that you had before?
Yeah, good question. And so I was talking to my wife about that. And so like my cadence right now is as it relates to like my time is my own. And so, Ab knows, but I'm still like working on these meaningful projects tied to education, right? So, it's a great honor that I was just appointed to the Greater Hartford Gives Foundation, formerly the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, and so now I'm one of the members of the board, and we'll get to decide and weigh in on funding of grant opportunities tied to improving people's lives, right? Which is tied to what I was doing as an educator. So now that's one of those things I just mentioned, the helping colleges find the right president.
Yeah.
Right. So I think most of the people, certainly at Capitol, would say that that I was good for the college and that I was a good fit. So now I'm on the other side helping colleges find the right president to lead their organization. So, Zoe, tied to what you're saying, that's like my thing, right? And so it was like, all right, well, I was pretty good at this. Maybe I can help others make the right fit. And then also, so I'm doing some work with mentoring up and coming college professionals. And so I just did a talk for Anne Arundel Community College. And they have a group called the African American Leadership Institute. which are people like me when I was a counselor
Right.
who are, climbing the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a Zoom call talking to them about budget and finance in community colleges.
Nice.
And so, Zoe, I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I'd like to say that I retired from full-time state employment.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't retired from life. I ain't retired from, uplifting my community and stuff like that. So there's a piece, but now I'm able to work on the stuff I want to work on
Right.
when I want to work on it. There's a piece to, I was talking to somebody, that great job, capstone job, loved it to death, but that was like a 60, 70 hour week job, man. And so there's a piece to, like, you don't realize how demanding it is until it's not in your life.
Right.
So I got used to doing it, and even like my blood pressure used to just be crazy off the chart, and you just get used to just going like that, right? And I had my phone. We'd be on vacation, and I got a speech to do or something going on Monday. And I got my laptop. I'm like, God, I gotta finish this deck.
Right.
Commencement's coming up, or convocation.
I did one of those.
Yeah,
Cap.
shout
Thank
out,
you.
well done.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I did one at Farmington High, actually.
Yeah. You get some drums on that.
Shout out, though.
Yeah. And so, but there's a piece to not having that 60 hours a week in your life.
Yeah.
And then you're able to put other stuff in there, right?
Big piece.
So that's been dope. Blessing.
Yeah. So, I know, I felt like something was on my.
Yeah. Got some.
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's still there, right?
No, you got it.
okay.
It was that cashmere came off.
Cashmere.
All right. So what's next?
What's next? What's neat is I don't know, and you don't have to know,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The most important thing is kind of family and health.
Health. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The most important thing I did today was go to diligence training.
Nice. Shout out to Diligence.
Yeah, shout out to Terrell and the trainers over there, Justin and the crew.
We never had none of them over here.
Yeah, you need to get them on. They're on
Invite them on the show, man.
Yeah, Terrell. Yeah, get up on this show. You need to get a piece of Devontae. But yeah, but those brothers, they're doing great work, and so I've been probably in some of the best shape of my life, because not only reducing the stress, but then having I'm sleeping better.
Yeah.
There's not, and so my blood pressure's down, things like that. So the most important thing that I did today was go to the gym.
And you stop by my office.
And I stopped by the new office.
New office.
Yeah.
Where's the new office at? Let's talk about where's the new office at, man.
111 Roberts Lane.
Yeah.
So wait. So they painted over the driveway.
They didn't paint it yet.
That spot is dope.
Are they going to leave it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Who bought it?
It wasn't black people.
They're not leaving it.
They're gonna leave it.
It's still there though right now. I mean, they got. I mean, I'm sure by the summer they may want to repave it. Just they're doing a daycare at my old office, so they probably need a smoother driveway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we moved to 111 Robert Street in East Hartford. Very exciting. I mean, the space is a nice space.
Dope.
We have. I mean,
Do a walk and talk. We can do a walk and talk.
we can do something. I mean, you can just come over there and tape the thing. I mean, but let us get it right. It's gonna take us a few months to be like fully.
We got a bunch of women over there look nice and decorated. And shit.
I mean,
Bathrooms always smell very good.
we had a fight with our next door neighbors about the bathroom today. So we share a bathroom in the middle. We have one in our suite too, but it's like, I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know why people can't just get along.
It's an amazing site. It was nice to stop by and see the offices and the work that you do for the community. And great access right off of 84. Imagine you keep your existing clients and then add some of the new clients. So shout out to my people.
Yeah.
Shout out.
My hope is that we can really establish ourselves. Well, so listen, right now we're in flux. So we're looking for a community. I feel like Hartford is a community that we've been in for 20 years, but ultimately we're looking for a community that we can kind of like dig ourselves in deep and be fully engulfed in that community. And so maybe it's East Hartford, maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe we go back to Hartford. But we have a 3-year lease.
Nice.
And in that 3 years, what we're really looking to do is figure out where should we be? Where can we make the greatest impact?
Yeah.
Where can we help? Where can we help families, fathers, children? Where can we help the community in itself? Where do we feel comfortable and at home?
But you know what?
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you there,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I love about my people
Uh-huh.
is that there's a concept where you say, don't bring the people to the training, bring the training to the people.
Yes, we want to go to the
Right,
people.
and so whether you're in East Hartford, you're in Hartford, or you're wherever, one of the things I know to be true about my people is that you're going to bring that training and what's needed to the people, right?
No doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. But you gotta have a home. Everybody
yeah,
gotta have a
home
place
base.
where you say this is the home base.
Yeah.
But I mean, right? A lot of people don't know that right now my people operates in Waterbury,
Yeah.
New
That's what I'm
London,
saying.
Torrington. We're all over the state already. When I get my DCF contract back, I'll be statewide with the fatherhood work again. I mean, I'm just trying to. If anybody from DCF listen, go and sign that piece of paper.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, we're already out there. But,
Yeah.
but I like to really have a. I
headquarters.
have some visions for
Headquarters.
my people
Yeah.
that that it requires for us to have some kind of collaboration with the town or city.
Got it.
In such a way that we're not renting a place.
Yeah.
We have a place that is established in that town, and we're able to kind of extend the reach of what
Got
we
it.
do.
So that's the piece. So
Yeah.
you're gonna keep doing what you've been doing in Hartford, and now you have the opportunity
Of course.
to grow some deep roots in East Hartford.
Hartford has it.
Love it.
I'm never turning away
Heartbeat.
from Hartford.
Shout
That's
out to
right.
the
That's
Heartbeat.
right.
That's where we're at right now.
So what about you? What's the highlights? You just did a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
The latest documentary, As the Rope Turns.
As the ropes turn.
Tell us about it. Tell us
It's
about
A
it.
little play on As the World Turns.
Yeah.
As the ropes turn, it was
Yes.
a documentary on Double Dutch.
Yes.
Hartford
Oh.
Double Dutch back in the day.
The
Yeah.
heyday.
It was amazing in the 80s.
Yeah.
1900 and 80s. It was amazing.
It went all the way back to then? Oh, 1980.
Well,
Okay.
this is Lady Carey.
Yes.
And Reverend McCory.
course.
It's their brainchild.
Okay.
She's Miss Double Dutch.
Okay.
Wow.
As I know her.
Yeah.
She also has Jada Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with juvenile diabetes and homelessness and a bunch of things.
Very important.
So she does a lot of things with addicted services to help the youth that are struggling out here. So like this event, she gave a lot of awards out to
Nice.
people in the community that helped her.
I
And
would
we,
have definitely
and we
come
played the
if I
doc.
got one of those awards.
Now let me ask you a question.
If you were there, you know what? We know how Rev is, right? Having the words. I see somebody in the stands right now. Everybody stand up, and you be like,
Hey, dude.
she does
On the
stuff like
spot.
that. Yeah.
So now it was a documentary of Double Dutch in Hartford, or about her? Yeah.
It's about double. It probably took us a year and a half to tape all the stuff. She
Wow.
had people come down, and I would go tape it, and then she didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, I'll make a documentary of it.
Did you have classic footage of
Like,
what?
I just dig.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I go dig on, the what do they call me? Fearsome Five. There was a bunch of
Yeah.
They were
They were going like international. Weren't they like
they went
going
to
over to
Japan.
Amsterdam? Yeah, I
They went to
remember,
Japan back in
yeah.
the day.
Wow.
Okay.
Right now, the whole push now, I believe, is because they're about to make it an Olympic sport.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know
That's what I was
that.
thinking. And all the double dutchers now are saying, hey, these are our tricks they're doing. This is us.
Right.
We're the originators. And
Yes.
they're not giving them any credit.
They're
Kind of like
taking-
breakdancing.
Yeah.
They're not giving them any credit
Yeah.
or anything. And this is about to go international.
And Hartford was serious in it.
No,
Like
Hartford started, though. It all started here.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Other states did it, but no one did it like Hartford did it.
Wow.
Like in the 19. Yeah, you gotta watch it. But
I gotta watch the doc. Is it gonna be on Tubi? Is it going to Tubi?
I gave it to him.
Okay.
So it should be on Tubi as well.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So it was great. It was also a 60th birthday, so she celebrated her birthday as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So a bunch
What kind of cake did
family
they
and
have?
friends.
You know, I appreciate how you're documenting
cake.
Hartford. Camp Rock the Pub. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm doing another one.
The boxing one you did. Too.
Ice Never Melts. I did.
Yeah,
Undisputed Champs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't Rock the Pub.
Yep.
The
Dream
basketball.
Yeah.
Chasers.
Dream Chase. Yeah, we're gonna.
yeah.
And also, I'm
I
doing
did
the
Got a lot of footage.
You Can't Rock the Pub. The '94 the football team won that year too.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I'm doing theirs, the '94 football team.
So it's gonna be called You Can't Rock the Pub, and
called-
but the football ones.
It's called You Can't Rock the Pub, and it's called 11 on the Field, the City on their backs, something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
So that's there. I did a trailer house already.
I like
So
that.
I got that one.
I like that,
Hot
man.
937.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with Buck.
That's the one that's coming out right.
That's
just
coming
next.
out in the summer.
That's
Yeah.
with Buck and.
Yeah, 25 years, March 16th.
Oh,
We've
dope.
been here for 25 years.
I know that's.
So yeah, so I just do documentaries
Shout out to
on my
Buck.
community. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shout out to the community. That's
Shout
all.
out to the community.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
You're the griot.
One of the things
That's
I want
what
to
I call it,
share to the people that are listening, this Saturday we are having our latest cohort of the Fatherhood Monologues. this weekend. It's an all daughters show.
Okay.
We've never done an all daughters show, so this is the first time. We have 9 women who are going to be participating in this Mandalogs. They've been practicing for the last 3 months since December.
Okay.
And we're ready for their Mandalogs to be listened to. I think it's going to be a powerful show. If anybody's come to yes, there goes a flyer.
Nice.
If anyone's come to the Fatherhood Mandalogs, they're always good shows, but I'm really excited about this one. So
You got some poets in there.
we got some poets. You got Mind Evolution. You got Brenda's Child, Lynette Johnson, Crystal Center Brown, Nazima
What are
Hutchins.
what are some of their professions?
Their jobs?
Yeah, like are they
By-
like
by
social
day?
work? Yeah, they like.
I'm not
Business
sure
owners,
if any
social
of them are
workers.
social workers, but
You got some poets in there. I know.
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I want to shout out everybody though. You got Denisha, Luciano, Tiana Glass Tripp, Sabanda Latrice, and Destiny Mateo.
What time is it?
It's at 2 p.m. on Saturday at the Mark Twain House.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a great show. We're gonna have some, we'll have we're gonna do the show. We're gonna have some a panel discussion because sometimes after people do, you have some questions and stuff. We want to be able to do that. And then after that, we'll take some pictures, eat some cookies.
How much is it?
It's free.
Free 99.
Free. Yeah, I haven't gotten to
Saturday?
the point where it's not that not that I don't think this is valuable. 'Cause I
No.
do think it's valuable.
Yeah.
And
Free,
and-
not cheap.
right. And my people, community services, could use the money. Like we could
You make a
use it.
donation if people want to make a donation. They can.
Well, if you go to Donor Box to get
Okay.
your tickets, you could actually make a donation on it. Instead
Love
of
it.
getting a free ticket, you could go get your Donor Box. You could pay for it. So
You should do like how the artists do. They sell the album, and you have to pay something, but anything you want.
anything you want.
Got
yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I want people to come see the show.
Yeah.
This is our 5th cohort. We've done cohorts since 2020, our first
Nice.
show with 10 men, and so we've been building it up since then. And so I'm just very excited about it, and I hope people come out. We're ending the month off strong. Last week we had a brotherhood check-in.
Okay.
And then we also had our men's health strength circuit, which
I saw that.
we had 16 people there. So if you would have come and brought your son,
So he told me you had
you know,
16.
we
Yeah,
think-
17. He said he told me it was 17.
was it 17? Even better. We think our limit is what happens though.
Oh no, I'm just switching now. It's
Oh,
30 seconds.
Our limit
Something else is on. See.
our limit is
That's
20.
good.
I don't think we can have more than 20 people in there.
Oh, it gets
But it
tight.
was crazy.
I saw.
It was crazy to get in the
Some
workout.
of the guys were in more shape than others.
Oh yeah. I mean, he switched up the
Some
no.
shirts were off and some weren't.
Oh yeah, no, that the last round, my son Adi took his shot. Adi was, listen, the circuit this month was in response to the circuit the month before
Oh,
because
okay.
people were like acting like the first circuit wasn't hard
easy,
enough.
yeah.
So now he goes and says,
Yeah.
"Oh, let me give you
Okay,
what you
want
want."
the fire.
Yeah. So I was like,
You gotta
"Yo,
be careful with that.
let's go back to the strength
what you
training.
wish for.
Yeah, we want strength, not cardio.
Oh.
Have you jumping up on top of a tire
Rather
doing
strength,
it's
yeah, cardio. I hate
yeah,
cardio.
cardio is crazy. He had the little roller thing.
That's what we did yesterday, the other
The
day.
roller thing?
Listen, man.
Yo.
You get it all up in
Yo.
here. Get that core.
I do core, but not. I guess I don't do it right.
the
'cause
roller.
Yeah.
The roller.
Well, you got to get that diligence training on here. They're doing some good work out there. And that's your neighbor now.
That's my
He's a-
neighbor.
he's
Yes,
a-
East Hartford. So, I mean, we have anything else on board that we need to talk about before we get out of here?
Let's see.
What else?
I think for the. Oh, I wanted to talk to you probably off there, but we're gonna do a show. I can tell you. You know what
kind
we're
of
gonna do?
show? Go ahead.
We're talking
Yeah.
flyers.
Yeah.
Like we have you two here.
Okay.
Right. And you have a bunch of cards. Y'all answering the questions. Y'all both answer them.
Okay.
So
What kind
like,
of cards? What kind of questions? What questions do you want to ask?
That is a
The
competition.
one I saw, it was like two goats and their sports.
Oh, the goat of something? Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
So community. I'm a
Right, so
community.
it was
I'm
called, it was called goats, right? So like they
Wow.
had cards,
yeah.
and it'd be like Tarazi, and,
Raji. Yeah.
Diana Taurasi. So it'd be
Oh,
Diana,
Tarazi.
super.
Okay. Yeah.
and Allen Iverson over there. and
Okay.
they ask questions,
Oh.
and they answer them questions,
I think
Yeah.
yeah.
right? So like
I like that. It's
you can have you two when you pick it would be a topic. You just ask questions.
Yeah. I like
It'd
that.
probably be like, and it's quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just another show.
Another show we could just do.
Hey, I'm always
cake.
down
No,
to
those
do
are
another
good. Those are good for like when we do like the brother check-ins. Like, yo, come over here real quick.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't gotta like
Right.
before we used to just.
I will say that the Brotherhood check-in last week, the speak life into a brother part was very powerful.
How many were there? How many people showed
It was
up?
only about 10 or 12 people there, but Patrick Rico, he's basically having a heart surgery today. He had one. He had one today.
Man. I didn't even know I saw that.
Yeah,
Thoughts
and
prayers out, Pat.
so he's been talking about it, and I want to throw out thoughts and prayers to him. I hope the surgery went well today. He was there, and at the being somebody who's also had a heart surgery, I know the process takes a little time to get back.
Yeah.
But anybody that knows Patrick, make sure you reach out to him.
Yeah.
Give him a call, because that stuff kind of gets you to heal faster when you have support from your community, people that love and care about you. So that was the highlight of the brotherhood, the Speak Life Into a Brother, is that he was speaking life into somebody, but then I came up and I put my hand on his heart.
Wow.
And I spoke life.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
Yo, I put my hand on his heart. But I said to him that, the reason why you are having this heart surgery is because you've given so much of your heart.
Man.
And so sometimes we think it's because of health. No, he's giving so
He was
much.
at the history bee on Saturday, wasn't he?
Yo, he was getting it in
was
before he got into before he went inside to.
One of the original Call Out Brothers dude too.
Yes,
Your brother there.
So shout out to him.
Yeah.
So we'll be back next. Are you gonna be in town next week?
I am. It's
Your
Ramadan.
birthday is next week. Oh, you're not going away. Okay. I saw that and I was like, I don't know.
Second year. Last year I didn't go anywhere.
Hey, man. I saw your birthday was coming up. Zoe's birthday is next week. He's going to be 50 years old, right?
50, baby.
Yeah. He's been
half a hundred.
He's been dodging this one.
Half a hundred.
Yo, hey.
I got 50 left.
When I turned 50, you were like, but now it's like your turn and you're like, half a hundred is all. It's easy.
nothing.
You ain't going anywhere?
It's nothing.
No, he's going to go somewhere, just not on his
I
birthday.
didn't go last year either.
Yeah.
You're going somewhere later.
Oh yeah, after Ramadan's over.
After Ramadan.
Yeah.
So that's right.
Yeah, turn up. Yeah.
Ramadan Mubarak to all the Muslims out there that are fasting. Actually, you broke your fast?
Yeah,
you broke it before
5:35.
Okay, so
I am thirsty.
don't let anyone break your peace this month. Stay focused on Allah and get your blessings. Do your prayers. Pray. Do your prayers. Get up in the morning, have your suhoor, drink some water, maybe have some dates, and just go through the day and keep Allah first, right in the front of your mind. It's going to be a wonderful Ramadan. So just shout out to all the Muslims that are fasting right now.
Shout out.
Love it.
All right. I think it's time to get out of here, gentlemen.
This
This has been a great show.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Duncan Harris, for coming on and
glad to
talking
be
to us
here.
about your journey. Shout out to Alonzo Lee Beckett. And to everybody out there that is a dream chaser, I say never stop dreaming. We'll be back next week.
Hey.
We got my boy John Malofsky coming back.
And I got Tetrick, man. Stone on, man.
Nice.